Hey guys, it's me, Luck Films. Today I decided to give you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes tour or trip on how I made the BFLFB episode 13 thumbnail. Now, the most important thing about a thumbnail is capturing the viewer's attention. Obviously, I should have learned that a long time ago, but hey, I've grown a lot. But yeah, today I'm going to be teaching you through it. So step number 1 is to find the most intriguing part of the story, or at least the part that'll, give a quick, explanation for what the video is about, or in this case, contest. So the main part of the story that I wanted to have occur was the scene where Oswald dodges all of the eggs thrown by Darren. So I took 3 pictures of Oswald, Darren, and Phil. Now I chose Phil because he plays a pretty decent role in the episode. He gets a nice little moment with Bubba, and he hasn't appeared on the thumbnail in a couple episodes. And also, I just thought he would contrast. So yeah. So starting off with Oswald, I had to paint. The first thing you want to do is fill in the eyes with white and cover up the mouths if you're going to be changing the mouth expression, that is. Now, Oswald's eyes took a little bit more time since, he was the biggest picture out of them all. So, yeah, after I got that filled in, I decided to give him a more scared expression since, you would be scared for your life if you're avoiding, over 1,000 eggs. I also decided to, obviously give him the eyes and stuff, which look nice in my opinion, and then I wanted to give him eyebrows like I did with Darren in 12A, but then I decided why not give him the paranoid parenthesis lines around his eyeballs, which I think turned out a lot better and definitely gives a lot more emotion to Oswald. Up next was Darren, and I made Darren intentionally further away, so I could shrink him easier when I assembled the final picture, and I decided to give him the evil zigzag teeth because, he did get that after almost getting Oswald out. And that was really it. The eyelids I struggled with just a little bit because, it was kind of difficult. I don't know why, but I really cannot do the angry eyelids that much these days. But I think it turned out a lot better. And yeah, on to Phil. And last but not least was Phil. Now, Phil, at first, my original vision was I wanted to put him sort of in, the background, usually, on how, Swift was on 12B's thumbnail, but I decided against that. And I wanted to give Phil a sort of excited expression, like a happy mouth, but I decided to not do that because, was Phil ever really happy in this episode? No. He was a little bit. He smiled at the end, but, yeah, I gave him a, boy, are you serious expression because, he's just what is this shenanigans going on? But, yeah, there we go. And then I went into Hyphic to auto cut out the pictures. Now, Darren was a prick because, there was a pair of scissors in my remote beside them, so I had to manually cut him out so he looks a little bit shittier. But it's a good thing he's the smallest of them all, so that worked out. And now it is time to assemble the thumbnail. Now for the first part here, because I hadn't made a BFLFB thumbnail in a while, I was kind of an idiot and I really forgot literally a lot of stuff. So it took me a minute until I could finally get the banner back on there. Now in future thumbnails, the banner will be facing the other way because I'm getting real sick and tired of it facing one way. And frankly, I should have fixed it a bit. I feel like the red background was a bit much, but yeah. So after I added in Oswald, we aren't done with him just yet. It was Darren's turn to be thrown onto the thumbnail. Now this is when I realized that the red background was the worst part of it, but I'm not going to change it because I'm lazy. So I decided to give him an outline, which was something I wanted to do from the start. But I also decided to give him a green outline, not only because green contradicts with red, so Darren stands out a good bit on the thumbnail, but also because, the green outline kind of matched with Darren himself. And then I also added a blue outline to Oswald. I wanted to do orange to contrast with Oswald, but then orange would have blended into red, so it was kind of a whole mess, but eventually I got it down. And then Phil, as usual, was the last one put on the thumbnail, and I decided to keep the white outline because, white looked good with black, and just as I wanted, Phil overlapped and kind of took up a little bit more space than Darren, but it worked out, and I think I liked on how the 3 main characters on the thumbnail turned out. And then for the eggs, instead of taking actual pictures of the eggs used in the episode, I just used egg emojis, which was something I actually did in the episode. I used a rock emoji for the boulder for Darren, or that Ronald threw. But I decided to use 3, just to fill up the empty space. So you got one big one, and then you got 2 extra ones on the side. And then the text was a bit confusing. I didn't really know what I wanted it to say, but I decided to use the "say hello to my little bombs" line that Darren said, which was actually a reference to something. If you know what it is, tell me in the comments. You probably won't. But I liked on how that turned out. So, is that it? I think that's it. So there you have it. That is how you make yourselves a thumbnail. You could use this video to your advantages, and maybe you'll learn, for like CapCut users at least, how to make a good looking thumbnail. Personally, this isn't one of my best. It's probably the worst out of the new ones. Actually, I think there's some that could rival it, specifically episode 2, since episode 2 was a god-awful thumbnail in both versions. But I think we live and we learn, right? So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Do not forget to check out BFLFB episode 14, which should already be out by the time this video comes out. So thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.